What up, Herd? Welcome to another CBSI Team Nerd Herd collaboration where we're going to be discussing comic covers. So, welcome to our Comic Lovers Show, and it's going to be a supplement to Cover Fire, written by the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Morello. Mike, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm really excited to start this show up. This is great. We've been talking about it now for a couple weeks and bouncing ideas off each other and getting super psyched for it. So this is great. It kind of delves into some stuff that I don't do in the article, and it's nice to do it as an extension. It's great to be here with you guys. Thanks for asking me to join you.
Oh, of course. I mean, we loved having you and meeting with you and talking with you, during our My Favorite shows, that it's just like, oh my God, I think this would be a great idea. I mean, again, love your articles. And we have a lot of like quote unquote cover whores in our crew here. and one of them is Big Rob down there. Big Rob, what's going on?
Coming up for the past, I was going to say that I'm one of the coming horrors here on the Team Nerd Herd. This is Rob's Nerd Haven on Instagram, and excited for this new show, new enterprise here with Mike, and see how it goes. Let's go, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So again, this is a recording, but we're going to be premiering it again, I guess, today. So, but before we get started, let's give a quick shout out to our Team Nerd Herd moderators, Uncle Rudy, Something Wong, Deanime, and Glenn 2K. Thank you guys so much for making the chat what it is and making our show what it is. I mean, we appreciate you guys a lot. And again, thank you so much to our DJs, DJ Abomination and Plainclothes D. We love the beats that you guys have provided us with our both front and back bumpers, man. They are bangers for sure. So, guys, do you want to get started?
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. So, Comic Lovers, CBSI, Team Nerd Herd collab. Let's talk about incentives. So, there's a ton of incentives that we have this week, but we picked out kind of like our favorites, right? Yep. So, let's get started with this one right here. By Jose Maria Casanovas for Savage Spider-Man #1, the 1 in 25. Mike, tell us a little bit about it.
Man, I love this thing. When I was scrolling through just the list of what was coming out this week, of all the covers for the week, this one stood out the most to me because it is creepy as hell. I'm not sure if it's the rendering, the coloring, the sort of light fog, the really like disturbing bug. I don't really love bugs to start with. So yeah. Just the concept of this Savage Spider-Man thing is cool. And this just really captures the creepy crawly thing so well. Great perspective, great lighting on the face. Just a really, really well rendered piece for me. I'm going to be looking for this one. Definitely.
Nice. Go ahead, Big Rob.
I was going to just say the shirt does give you the heebie-jeebies, right? When you look at this cover, it's just a giant spider there, just kind of like creeping on people.
Yep.
So I love the lighting on it, the red with the blue contrast there, the melting of the color. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the fact they made him look more like a spider. It's something that's really disfigured and pretty much just disgusting. And I like the little nuances here. I mean, you have like these little spiders right here in the back.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, that kind of adds a little bit to that creep factor, that it's like you also have these like bugs or spiders like kind of crawling on them. I mean, you're right, Mike. I mean, it does give me the heebie-jeebies. I mean, I'm getting little goosebumps right here just looking at this thing.
It has almost like a horror cover kind of a feel to it, which is that's amazing.
And cool. Also, too, there was another one that for this particular title, Savage Spider-Man here, from Raza, the 1 in 50.
I love Raza's work. And, I wasn't sure what to think of it at first. When I first started to see him do, I think it was like those WWE incentive covers. I want to say like 5-ish years ago. I'm not really sure. And they look just basically like photography. Like messed with photography. And I was like, I don't know if I love that all that much. And then he started to break out and really do some really cool work. This has sort of like a Delato-ish sort of feel to it. There's, again, awesome perspective. The same kind of lighting as the other one, where this is sort of this haze and this sort of this creepy feeling. There's a little bit more of a Spider-Man-y feel and a little less of a spider feel to it. So if you're a little bit too creeped out by the Casanovas one, this might be a little milder. But still, I think it's the perspective on this one. It's that undershot is I like it when an artist does something unconventional on a cover, and I feel like this angle is a little unconventional. So this one does it for me too. I like the other one better, but I think this is dope too.
Yeah, it's same story, creepy as hell. I do agree. This one for Raza looks kind of realistic on the legs area. The like that little where he's standing, the background looks pretty realistic from just my viewpoint. I don't know if anybody else agrees, but
yeah, and it gets a little bit more artsy as you get to the head, like a little bit more painted into the head area.
So he's kind of melting his both styles in this one image he created here, because the WWE one's really realistic, and some of his other work is very artistic, very kind of different, and so he's kind of melting both of his styles into this one particular piece. It looks like, to me, in my opinion. But
yeah. No, for those that don't know me, by the way, I am very honest about the things I don't like in covers, which I probably shouldn't be, because I couldn't in a million years ever create this thing. So
no, this shit looks hard.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? It's like we always say our mantra. It's like you like what you like, right? So you should collect it. So I mean, we're all entitled to our own opinions. So it's all good. It's a safe place here, Mike. You're safe. You're safe.
Nice.
Art is subjective, right? That's what they always say. Art is.
It really
subjective.
is. Yeah. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I mean, I love it. I feel like it's part of like a horror movie, right? And you know how like you have your heroes kind of looking off to the side, and you see this like figure has light in the back, so you don't really get to see the whole like creature just yet, and so it gets closer and closer. And that's how I feel about this thing, because it has that kind of like background that's all white, like lights emanating from it, and then as it comes closer, you're just like, oh my god, this thing is freaky as hell. And I love the way that Raza has those hairs on the legs. I mean, those little details that he puts in there, it's amazing. I like how it feels very, very real.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the bar has really been raised on all kinds of covers now, especially incentives. I think there's that idea that there's got to be something special about them if you're really going to
the best.
Yeah. And I think those little pieces of detail, I don't know what artists I would necessarily point to. Delato is probably one of them, or maybe Middleton, or some of those that have really kind of upped the game. And now everyone's kind of up the game now. Yeah. So little details like that, little extra time taken to make things that much more detailed are super cool to me, and make it worth the hunt, right? I want to go find this cover.
Yep.
Savage Spiderman.
Yeah. Totally agree with you on this one. All right. And then we have this other one with, again, guys, correct me if I'm wrong with this name here. Soza Mayaka?
Soza Maika?
Soza Maika? Sorry.
Soza Mayaka.
I'm not sure. I'm
tomato.
You know what? But we're definitely in agreement here, and we're definitely 100% sure that this is a great cover. Big Rob, you want to tell us a little bit about it?
It's a great cover. Maybe the cover of the week on this one. It's beautiful, man. I typically don't buy Red Sonja. Once in a while, I'll pick some nice covers, but this one blew me away when I saw it. Something about the pencils with the white background. Dude, she is beautiful. It's really well drawn. This artist blew me away. I kind of like the sword. It reminds me a little bit of the Thundercat sword, the Aya Thundara. But it's a 125. It's actually the same cover as the cover A. So it's just that one has a trace of the Virgin, and Virgins are typically preferable. But I love it. Hey, you caught that.
I think we all caught that, Big Rob.
Yeah, man, I just love it. It's just a badass cover. It's a beautiful cover. The wrestling looks great, and Jose Maika did a beautiful job. And I'm looking forward to her future work and what else coming through the pipeline.
I hope. Well, this is a spoiler, but the A cover. So Covered Fire is all about non-incentives, the article that I write every week. And the A cover, spoiler alert, is also my winner this week. So this piece of art, I think, blew us all away this week. It's just gorgeous. The lines are gorgeous. And let's face it, Red Sonja as a sexy cover has been done to death. And to come up with something that still made me go, whoa, for a second is pretty impressive. And I'm not sure I can put my finger on exactly what it is, but there's something just unique and beautiful. It's the lines, it's the simplicity of certain parts of it and the details in others. Really nice little touches. Just a gorgeous cover. I cannot wait to find one of these.
One note for I to mention, this is not the regular Red Sonja. It's the Red Sonja Valentine's Day special.
Yes. Yep. Valentine's Day special, one shot.
So I'd love to see this actual story inside. What's actually going on for
oh, come on. You're not going to read the book.
Of course, I read
Red Sonja. I'm the one guy who reads Red Sonja. I guess we're two guys that actually read Red Sonja.
Oh my God. Yes. We've talked about this one. You know what? All these Dynamite books, the cover art's amazing. I just buy it for the cover art. I don't even crack the book open. I'll be real. I'll be honest.
Well, buy cover A to read it and get the incentive for the looks.
for other purposes.
I guess. One of the other things too.
Mylar.
Sozo my Aka had another cover recently featured, and this was the 1 in 25 for Catwoman.
Yeah,
and that Catwoman cover was amazing, and it was released last week, and it was so good.
Yeah.
Yep. I did not get my hands on that one. I'm kind of pissed now. But
it's this doing like $150 right on the Bay, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's expensive. Guys, just make sure to keep your eyes on this artist. I mean, she's doing like some great things right now. So might want to sub her up, take a look, and again, use that FOC and anything that she's drawing. Make sure to pick that up.
Yeah, this is hot.
And then we also have this one right here by Jorge Fornes, which is the homage from Marvel Age number 36. And it's also a 1 in 25. And this is Daredevil, Woman Without Fear. Mike, let's start with you. What do you think of this cover?
I really don't like it. And look, it's funny too, because I usually love it when first of all, I love the whole 4-color thing so that I do like. It goes well for the homage. That's cool. There's just something about the execution of the cover that I hate. I think this could have been done so much better. Fornes had another incentive last week for DC. I forget what book it was. I can't believe that they put it as the incentive. It was so bad. And this one's better, but man, I don't know. It's okay. It has an old school feel, and I normally like that. But in this case, there's just something wrong with it for me. And it just does not hit for me.
Okay.
I think it as once. Well, I guess a couple opinions on this one. And it's hilarious the homage and Marvel Age cover of all covers. It's just why Marvel Age? Who fucking even knows this cover even exists? To be honest, that's interesting in my point. And he missed on it somehow. And something about it is just not right. I don't know. It's okay. I don't hate it as much as you do, but I think it's all right. It's nothing crazy. I wouldn't pay $25 if you catch this for like $10 or less. Maybe it's worth it, but it's okay. And this is what issue? 2,
right?
Of the
Two.
Oh, the Woman Without Fear. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it might have, usually issues 2 and 3 on books will have sometimes we'll have those surprise first appearances. So
watch, I'll be totally wrong. This will be number 1 on the hot 10 list this week.
I know, right? Some fucking they'll be the next Miles Morales or some shit like that.
There you go. But you know what? I personally dig this cover. I know you guys don't. I dig it. I actually like that Marvel Age book, and I saw it. I was like, oh my God. I've seen this cover before.
Really? Wow, you're the only one.
Knew it.
I know. That's why I have it here, right?
When I read Daredevil, I still don't know about that Marvel Age cover.
So it gives me that like nostalgia vibes, and also too, Mike, how you pointed, it's like very limited colors. It's just pretty solid. And I like it. I like it a lot. I like the homage. I mean, even the Marvel Age variant, it feels very rough. It's not very elegant. It's not very. I don't see very many clean lines. I kind of dig it. I dig it in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
So if I see it, I would be probably one of those guys buying this right off the wall.
My favorite part of the cover is the corner box.
Oh my god,
Seriously, that part's badass to me. I like the corner box.
that is very cool.
But
You know what? I like that. I'm looking at it. I like how it's like pixelated.
Yeah.
was that on purpose? Or
Was that a happy mistake? No, I think it was done on purpose.
well, here's a question: is the homages on classic cover on old school covers jumping the shark?
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's her second issue. I mean, it's all. I mean, she's been what? She's been Daredevil for 7 or 8 issues now total. If we go back into the Zdarsky run, is it time really to start homaging classic covers with her on? Yeah, I agree with you, Rob. I don't know if it's time yet. That's pushing it. Elektra's classic, but Elektra as Daredevil, I don't know if that's classic enough.
Well, I agree in that aspect, Mike. But I was talking about like as in general, has Marvel jumped the shark on just doing homages on classic? If you looked at last week's Iraq, there was a ton of homages on classic covers.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, they're going a little crazy with these homages. I'm like, I kind of losing interest. It's saturating the market too much.
I agree with that. I think Marvel's doing that anyway with too many variants, regardless. But that said, yeah, when they're all sort of centered around, like, yeah, we know that's a classic cover. We're gonna go buy that one, the original one, because that's cool.
Yeah,
and you can probably find that book in the dollar bins. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Do you have it, Alonzo?
I think I do. I had the whole series of Marvel Age, so I am fairly positive I have it.
That's a good run and a half, bro.
Yeah. It's like I collected all these crazy stuff, and Marvel Age was one of them because it had like all these like cool little one-off things, and sometimes the art was more comical in it, you know. So I was like, oh, as a kid, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. So,
no, this is a hard pass. This one's a hard pass for me, but
thank you. You're saving it for me. I appreciate that, Mike.
I'll also drive the price down. All right, so if I drive demand down,
that's what I want.
$10.
It's for $10.
Oh, he's like, I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have here, and Big Rob, you can talk about this. So the Monkey prints will be coming out as well. So this is the first issue. Cover art drawn by Dao Zhao, and it's a 1 in 10. It's also her first official cover work. So Big Rob, tell us a little bit more.
Okay, so this is Monkey Prince #1 from DC, and I don't buy DC books, but it's one of them books I was just looking at. I was going through Midtown, and I was looking at all the covers and stuff, and I was like, man, this book, something about it just catches my eye. And I just kept looking at it more, and I was like, dude, this is really, really interesting looking. And I started researching the artist, and I realized that she's never done any official cover for any comic book. She's done like a Chinese recipes, like illustration thing for Dark Horse. It was like a hardcover like a few years back. Because that's the only thing she's come close to doing comic book wise. But this is like her official comic book art. And it's just the detail on it. If you look at the bushes, the background, it was just so much detail, so many lines. I love it. I don't give two shits about the monkey prints, to be honest, but that's kind of that's shit monkey. Okay, but yeah, it's but it's awesome. It's just really good, and it totally according to the vibe of the old school Chinese art, and she did a great job. And if you looked at her like her work on Google Images, it's similar to what she's doing here, but it's traditional Chinese art, and it's interesting to take that kind of art style into superhero characters, you could say. So I'm looking forward to more of her work. Awesome. It's also a teen variant, not actually a 1 in 10, but people are selling it as a 1 in 10. They're selling them for like $10, most websites, but it's actually a teen variant. So people had to buy, I think, like 50 copies of cover A and B to have access to buy this.
Oh,
wow,
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So, Rob, can you explain that to me? Just because like I'm not aware, right? So you had to qualify by purchasing 50 of them, right?
DC has this crazy program. They've been doing it for a while now, especially with the Batman books, where they call them team variants, and your comic book shop has to buy a certain amount of copies of cover A and B just to qualify to buy this. And a lot of times shops don't buy 50 copies. You have to. It's usually the big stores or eBay dealers will buy them, but it's it's basically that's the gist of it. And for me, luckily, my store is buying 50 copies. I got access to one of these copies. But as far as I know, that's all that you really need to do. They have to just buy 50 copies of A and B, and they have access to buy this many as you want. But you have to buy 50 copies of A and B. And there's also sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, at least it's not how Marvel used to do it, which was like, no, you have to buy 50 copies of Squirrel Girl to get this Wolverine variant over here. And you're like,
yeah.
The fuck? Seriously? Why would I want that book? I want the Wolverine book. On what planet does the same person who wants Wolverine want Squirrel Girl or whatever it was? I don't know. There's a ton of those way back, like early 2000s.
Yeah, Marvel has some crazy qualifiers. You had to buy a different book and to buy this book from a whole different series, and you had to buy a shit ton of copies. It was crazy. But regardless, back to this cover art. I love it, dude. I'm definitely putting an order in for this, and it's gonna be in my collection.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, the comment I said off the air before we started, I'll say it now. This is what I want Peach Momoko art to look like every time the book drops, and it never looks like this. This is the Eastern style that hooks me. I want to see her do a Usagi Yojimbo cover.
Oh, no.
Wow, you just blew my mind, Mike.
Because the bar just went up on Usagi Yojimbo last week with was it in Huck Lee's cover? That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
So,
but this artist on that would be insanely cool.
Oh my god,
I'd go to the ends of the earth for that. Yes, right. I can picture it too.
Oh my god, that would be so good. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you guys with this one. I mean, I the detail. I mean, it's also too. It's something different that we don't necessarily see on the rack.
Agreed.
So it's definitely eye catching for sure. And now knowing that it's a team variant, I mean, I don't foresee a whole lot of these being on the market.
No. You go on eBay. There was one copy, right, Alonzo? That one day.
Yeah, on eBay, there was one copy. It was going for I think like $30 or something like that, and it was sold out everywhere. Sold out in Midtown. It was sold out in some of the other stores that I kind of look at. So I was just like, how am I going to get this book?
I love it. Not spoiling your honey holes. All right. Some of the other places where I shop online.
Kmart, JCPenney.
That's right.
Montgomery Ward.
Nice. Man, well done, well played, sir.
Well, thank you. And then also too, we do have another cover as well for Monkey Prince from DC, and this one is being done or drawn by Dustin Nguyen, and it's a 1 in 50 as well. I'll kind of take a stab at this one. To be honest with you, I am really not a fan. I love Dustin Nguyen's work. I like the watercolor, the way he paints it. But for whatever reason, for me, I am just not feeling this cover. And for it to be a 1 in 50, I personally will not spend the money to buy this book.
Nope. I'm right there with you. I wouldn't spend it. I wouldn't even buy this. Wouldn't even be my choice from the regular covers. If this were a regular cover, I wouldn't even buy this one. So yeah, no, this is a hard pass for me too.
Yeah, I'm not paying $50 or $40 or $30. And like you, Mike, maybe not even $5 to be honest. But you got to go with a Zao, man. Zao covers the shit. I think there's also an Archim, right on this run.
Yes, there is. That's probably the one I would choose if I had to choose just a regular cover price cover. That's probably the one I'd go with.
Yeah, the Archim is better.
Yeah, there's also another one too that's out. It's a red cover. It's the Hongbao.
Oh yeah.
Variant, which is the all red. Celebrating the year of the monkey.
Yeah, Chinese New Year, little homage. But that one got pushed.
You're the tiger. Sorry, you're the tiger.
You're the tiger. But that one got pushed. My shop told me that because I asked about that one. So it's not coming out this week. It's available to purchase and stuff on stores, but it definitely got pushed. So it's not going to be in store shelves. As far as I know, I was told that they got the email last Friday from DC or Lunar.
Nice.
So.
Okay. I like how we kind of talked about it. Then Mike, I think, grabbed a pen and is starting to write. Got to get this Hongbao cover.
I'm looking up the Dow
for Monkey Prince.
I'm looking up the Zao Dow, trying to find a copy someplace.
So that Chinese New Year one is the more popular one right now, but I still think Zao long term would be probably the better book.
Yeah, the gold red foil, whatever the heck that thing is. Is 50-ish right now. 50, 60. I mean, I don't know what the heck the Zhao Dao is because there's no copies available. So who knows? But
So you guys get, if you see it on the rack, buy it.
yeah, definitely buy it. No doubt.
All right. And then we have this one right here, which is the Halcyon Legacy book #1, and it's the attraction variant, which is a 1 of 10. So Mike and Big Rob, I know you guys are big Star Wars fans. Who wants to go first?
Mike, or
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll say a couple quick words real quick. It's a 1 in 10. It's this is total just spec play on my part.
Yep.
The story is like we'll find out. It's just based on the space that hotel they got in Florida, the spaceship. So the first issue is supposed to be in the High Republic era. That's what I understood. This particular cover is image from the actual attraction at the hotel. That's what I understood as well. And so to me, the attraction covers for any Disneyland attraction covers usually a good investment. They usually sell well if you're trying to flip them or anything like that, or just collection wise, they will increase in value with time, and because they're Disney homages and Disney fans are rabid.
Yep. And I think you're right on all counts. I think that's what I caught out of this. But yeah, like those original Galaxy's Edge sort of character first appearance-y things, whatever the Hammerhead was on one of those, and those are still good. Those are still good spec. This one could be. I hate the layout. I wish there was more art, less trade dress. I think
it's very clean. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's very clean.
It is.
Yeah.
I think this character has to be something for this book to ever really be more than a $10 book. But you know, Star Wars fans, they're rabid. They'll buy everything.
It's Star Wars and Disneyland, and then Disney park attraction fans.
Good point. And I think just that alone will keep interest alive. But not my favorite Star Wars incentive. But still, I'll pick it up if it's ratio or lower. I'll still grab one tomorrow or Wednesday.
And also, how many shops are buying 10 copies?
Yeah, not many.
Oh, I'm sure they're buying a lot. I mean, it's a first issue, right? And
that's true.
Star Wars.
Maybe we'll see. We'll find out.
I'm sure there'll be like a couple copies in your LCS. I'm fairly positive there. At the very minimum, be 25 copies.
You know, if I think about how many stores order Star Wars Adventures and some of those IDW books, you're probably right. It's probably going to be more than I initially think. Because almost every store in my area orders at least 10 copies to get one of those 1 in 10s every couple of weeks. So yeah, there'll probably be a copy per shop floating around in my area anyway.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. So gettable, definitely gettable.
So make sure you guys head down there first before Mike gets there.
I only want one. I don't do multiples of these kinds of things usually.
FOC, baby. Pre-order.
That's true. All right. And then we also have this Wolverine, XLife of Wolverine by Gabriel Delato, and it's a 1 in 50. Mike, tell us a little bit about it.
Man, I love seeing Delato back on a Wolverine book that is incentivized and possibly gettable. There's throughout the time that he's been working, he has some incredible, very, very sought after Wolverine covers. There's that blue one that I can think of with his foot up on the thing, and it was one of the top 100 variants for a long time. There's a couple of Euro only Delato Wolverine covers that are amazing. This is just a nice addition to that, and it isn't the same as any of the other ones that he's done, which is great. So he could have kind of phoned it in and just sort of redone one of his older covers, but in this case he doesn't. I think it's just as good or better than some of those classics. And just this is the right mixture. Delato on Wolverine. Even some of those later Wolverine origin books, he did like number 50 and some of those, which are gorgeous covers that people always bypass. I think this is going to be a big book this week.
Cool. I'm glad it's not black background. Start with that.
Yes, true.
he's fond of those black backgrounds. I don't know. For me, this book is kind of it depends on my mood. Delato always depends on my mood. It's sometimes I really love it, sometimes I'm like, eh. But I guess I dig the background. It just kind of helps with Wolverine color scheme. So for this one's a yay for me. I like it. It's good. It's I don't know. I'll pay $50, but it's a nice cover. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally okay. So we've we've been seeing a lot of those Spider-Man books from Delato that are all black. Spider-Man's in the same pose. I mean, it's just getting very, very vanilla. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this looks fantastic. I like that it has an orange background. You can actually see the character. And again, Mike, to your point, I mean, it's Wolverine, and Wolverine's popular as hell. And to see Delato just get right back on it, I mean, it looks fantastic.
The other thing about those all black background covers, those are him doing chalk / pastel on black paper. And this is a fully painted cover. And you're right. I mean, the difference between the artistic impact of his painted stuff versus his pastel stuff is like night and day. And I think you're right. He's been focusing way too much on that pastel work over the last couple of years. They're kind of boring. They all sort of look the same. They kind of have, I don't know, they're sort of interchangeable with each other. This one finally feels like what I want a Delato to look like.
It's different. It's different. He's kind of saturated his own market with his black covers.
That's true. He has.
All right. And then we have another cover from the same book, XLife's Wolverine by Larry Houston. And this is the 1 in 25 animation variant. Big Rob, what are your thoughts?
All right, I'm gonna be a jerk. Sorry. I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's like, I get it. It's an homage to the anime series, and I would see what people would be interested in purchasing this, but I would not pay $25. Maybe a $4 book, that'll be fine. But it's just nothing. Nothing catches my eye. It's very simple pencils, very simple colors. It's cool action scene here, but it's been done to death. X-Men and style animation, homaging the Fox show, and it doesn't really stand out. It's just whatever to me.
I'm right there with you, and I think so. I'm going to also be kind of mean about it. I don't think it's done right. I think putting the Sentinel in the front like that was a poor choice. I want Wolverine more front and center if I want this thing.
You don't want Sentinel ass in your face? You don't want
no, Sentinel ass. No, that's not my favorite. And I also want it to look more animated. If it's supposed to be animation, I want it to look like a painted animation cell. Like I want it to, if I wanted that look, if I were a collector going into the store saying, man, I really love cell animation. And that cover really looks like cell animation. The old Disney books like DuckTales and stuff used to do it pretty well, where you'd have these backgrounds that were kind of lushly painted like a Disney movie, and then you'd have this very 2D looking animated character over the top of it, which then stands out because you've got two different art styles. Remember, what book was it? There was a book that was, oh man, it had the Peggy Carter Captain America costume. Yeah. And they were all kind of climbing up the hill, and then there was this stupid little like Funko Wolverine on the cover of it.
Yes.
What cover is that? That's,
oh my God.
That's
Exiles.
Exiles. Thank you.
Exiles.
That's kind of what I want one of these covers to look like. Like that Wolverine looks like an animation cell laid over the top of like a live action scene. And if you're going to do a cover like that, that's the way it should pop. Now, I hate that cover. Don't get me wrong. But the idea of how it was accomplished is what I want this kind of a cover to look like. So because this doesn't pop for me, because the perspective and who's in the focal point is wrong, this is a hard pass for me too. I'm with you, Rob. Not a fan.
I you know what, Rob? Now that you kind of mentioned like Sentinel ass, that's all I can see now from this cover. And you know, I was kind of borderline, like, yeah, it's kind of cool, but now I'm like, yeah, now I don't want it. Look what you did. You just ruined it.
You know what would have saved it, to be honest? If they would have done that gimmick of the, what was that paper cloth?
The acetate?
Acetate.
Oh, that's good. That's not a bad idea for this kind of thing.
That is that gimmick. For 125, put that gimmick on top of this book with the acetate, maybe the Sentinel on top, and just kind of like, that would have been cool.
Yeah. Ooh. I want the angle to be completely not because of Sentinel ass, but like I want the angle to be shifted enough so maybe we see more of a profile from the back, side profile of Wolverine slashing forward in front of him, so it'd be back to us with the Sentinel facing us. Then we get the same scene, the same action, more Wolverine up closer. That would have, I don't know. Again, I couldn't.
So in other words, you want Wolverine's ass in your face. Then.
Yes, exactly. There you go. You cracked the code. Yes, I would like some Wolvie ass in my face.
Australian ass, according to his accent.
That's
That's right. You hear that, Marvel? Make this happen. Make this happen.
Yep.
All right. And then we have our final one for incentives for this week, and it happens to be the one that we've chosen to be the ugly, and it's the Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man number 88, drawn by Mark Bagley, and it's a 1 in 25. So, fellas, take it away.
It's just trash, man. it's just bad. It's embarrassing. Bagley is good, and this cover is not. And it's embarrassing a little bit. I don't know how else to put it. It's just not good.
Yeah, obviously he did it half-ass. He didn't really put a lot of effort into this. Is Nick Spencer still writing this book?
No, thank God.
Well, at least it has that going for it. But it's dude. It's Mark. I've seen Bagley do a lot better work, and this is not one of them. And doesn't even look like what the who is that? Supposed to be Mary Jane, right, on the cover next to Black Cat.
Yeah, I think so.
This is some trashy girl from some dive bar.
Looks like bad Jean Grey.
It could be, or like a vampire with those, like, it looks like she has fangs, right? I mean, it's just weird. Like, the face is weird. The just looking at it, I don't know which direction to look at this. I mean, the perspective, it's different. I mean, are we looking up, down? I mean, where is this fireball coming from?
And plus, that stupid Beyond logo doesn't help either.
Oh, I know. It looks really bad. It literally looks like cut and paste.
It totally does. I agree. Yeah.
Clip art. When he used to add from.
You couldn't do the little Photoshop thing, just removing the white background from the damn lettering.
Apparently not. It's really bad. The whole thing is just to make it a 1 in 25 for poor Spider-Man fans that will go out tomorrow and spend, or 2 days from now, and spend $25 on this thing.
It is a 1 in 25 too. Jesus Christ!
It's such a.
I'm like, I don't know. This is just, it's just, oh, yeah.
Get it off the screen.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Here we go. And now we're moving on to the store exclusives for our segment. Again, we're just talking about a number of things that aren't covered in Mike's article in CBSI Cover Fire, where he just talks about the cover A's, cover B's, and not mention any of the incentives exclusives. So again, this is just a nice little supplement for you guys, so we can let you know what we think is pretty much fire for these covers that are coming out this week. So for our store exclusive, we have this Gerald Perel comic exposure book for Devil's Reign. And Mike, tell us a little bit about it.
I really like this. I'm not really sure why. It has sort of that negative space vibe to it in a weird way. All the lighted areas are all blending into the background. It has a very watercolor kind of fluidity to it. I don't know what the buy-in price on this is, and if it's not terribly expensive, I think it's a really nice, classy piece of art. Is it my favorite cover ever? No. It's even a little busy, possibly, but I have a problem with store exclusives in general. I think there's too many of them. I think they're too expensive now. I get why places try to charge as much as they do. They need to make their money back. But I mean, if this were a $10 cover, I would buy it. I know that it's not. I'm sure it's more like 20 or maybe 30. But I don't love it. Let's just put it that way. I think it's a good cover, not a great cover.
Agree. I guess if you're a Daredevil fan, $20 wouldn't be too bad. 10 would be preferable, of course. But I guess in that aspect, is this an homage to the X-Men book too? The X-Men
266, right?
266. Yeah, that with the Cap and Black Widow and
it has that feel to it. Yep.
Yeah, the Daredevil looks nice. The lighting of the city and it shines on the characters. It's nice.
This is what I would have liked that Dustin Nguyen incentive that we kind of saw earlier for Monkey Prince to look like, where the watercolors. I mean, this Perel looks amazing. I mean, yeah. I think it looks fantastic. I love the way you have Daredevil, you have Elektra, and is that Ben Reilly or is that like Miles? Oh, that's Miles' new
That's
suit,
Miles,
right?
yeah.
And I like Miles's suit. I mean, I think it looks fantastic.
It's
I
beginning to grow
like
on me.
how like the colors kind of are different, because of the watercolor. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's different.
Has a bit of Burrell has sort of an Assad Ribic feel to his work as well, and I like Assad's work, and I think this is different enough that has him stand out. But sometimes I like the simplicity of that, just not too heavy on the line, but a little heavier on the bulking out of shape. Not to get too artsy about it, but it's a cool style. It's definitely different. And this is gonna hit just right for some buyers, and they're gonna really have to have this cover. Others are gonna completely ignore it and just brush it off to the side. It's just one of those covers.
Yep. All right, and then we have another one here. Big Rob, why don't you take this one away?
All right, this is Star Wars Insider issue 208, and this is the PX Previews exclusive. This is exclusive to previews. There's Bo-Katan, Axe Wolves, and what's Sasha Banks' character?
Casca something or other.
Yeah. So I don't even know who the artist is on this huddle, so I don't think we have the artist's name on this one. Yeah,
you know what? I couldn't find it either.
They're really hard to get. I've tried to look up other issues for these, and they're really hard to find the artists. They don't disclose them a lot of times for some reason.
It's a beautiful cover, and I love the. It's all pretty much in blues, a little bit of grays. You can see some greens, I guess, but it's all mixed well. The characters look really, really just badass, dude. They present well. The pencils look great. And even the trade trace is placed in the right location to really give the art piece the presentation it deserves. And I love the little trade card homage variant to it too, as well.
Yeah, they've done a couple others of these. There's at least an Ahsoka that I've gotten. I like the look of it. You're right. The layout is classy. They didn't ruin any of the art with the trade dress, which is a huge epidemic in comics. And I think that this is a nice way to get some people to buy this magazine. If you don't buy Insider, then I'm not sure, you might not see these in your shop. Not every shop orders this stuff, but I just think this hits. This just something about the overall. No one aspect is crazy or amazingly well done, but for whatever reason, the combination of everything on this cover makes it the whole package makes it a cover. I have to go get this. There's also not a lot of Bo-Katan stuff, so if you're liking the prospect of spec on Bo-Katan and/or you like the character, Katie Sackhoff, whatever it is that you like about it, this is the early stuff. I think now might be the time to be grabbing whatever you can, Bo-Katan wise.
All right, so I have a question for you guys. Since you kind of mentioned that, hey, Bo-Katan doesn't have a lot of cover appearances. What do you guys think about like this whole because it's on a magazine? Is it a comic book? Would you consider this?
Yeah,
hit
my vein.
Her art, like this is a great cover. But do you think comic book people would kind of jump on this?
This has been one heck of a conversation over the last 5 years or so. Topher and I both on CBSI are huge proponents for the magazines. There's a lot of comic content in a lot of them. There's a lot of story content where there's fiction in these. And I think if you're a reader of Star Wars content, whatever that is, whether it's comic content, fictional content, whatever it is, you should be buying Insider. A. Therefore, B, it should tie into, because it's canonized, all of the things we're seeing in the shows and all the things we're reading in the comics. This is just an extension of that. And the covers like this clearly meant for comic collectors. I mean, this is or card collectors, I guess, as well. The crossover is clear to me. I think just because the format's big, well, are we not going to collect Savage Sword of Conan or Vampirella or any of those because they're magazine sized? Why? I mean, what? Just because they don't fit in a regular bag and board, they go in a magazine bag and board, they're all of a sudden not comics. I don't get that argument. It doesn't make any sense to me. So you're not going to buy Echo Lands this week because it's facing the wrong way with a staple on the side. I mean, I don't get the logic in saying that these things are not part of the comic realm. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And it does have the Star Wars Insider ever since issue 200, I believe, is that they have exclusive stories for the High Republic.
Yep.
So you want the whole High Republic story, you have to buy Star Wars Insider.
Yep. Absolutely.
And also, this will be a cool cover to get a triple sig sign and get a CGC.
It would be. It's very
Sakov and Sasha and all and the other gentlemen. That'd be sweet.
Nobody knows his name. No one cares.
The other guy, the other Mandalorian.
He's supposed to be back. I heard he's supposed to be back on the future episode or something like that.
Oh,
You
well,
never
maybe he'll
know.
become important. Maybe we'll all be upset we didn't know more about him at the time.
That's right. All right,
But
thanks.
how about you,
guys, for
Alonzo?
that
Alonzo,
information.
what do you think about the magazine thing?
I know. I for the magazine thing, I don't have a horse in this race. I just want to hear what other people say, only because it's like I know it's a big thing where it's like, oh well, it's a magazine, it doesn't count. There's like, oh, it's a little strip in a magazine, or it's like, oh, it's a Lego character, it's not the real character. You hear this a lot, and honestly, for me, it's just like I just collect what I like, and if there's something that's in the magazine that I feel is important, I will buy that magazine.
That's the key. You nailed it. You definitely
know?
did. Buy what you like, and I mean, I like insider content. I think it's a great magazine. I think it has been for a long time. It's been overlooked for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really important content, canonical content in past issues, some incredible covers as well, especially if you're lucky enough to get your hands on the subscriber virgin covers.
Big Rob's got a ton of those.
As do I. And I got them when no one cared because they're beautiful. And now all of a sudden, everybody wants them because they're super, super rare, especially in good shape. And that's not to pat myself on the back, but I bought, like you said, I bought them because I liked them. And they're not going anywhere. They're in my PC. I'm not selling them. I don't care what they're worth. They're mine. I'm happy to own them. I display them from time to time because they're so pretty to look at. They've done such a nice job. And I think this one fits nicely into the sort of the top 50 covers from them. And I'm looking forward to getting one. And I did not know this was dropping this week. So thank you, Rob, for the heads up on this one.
You're welcome, sir. And just another note, the first time you ever see Ahsoka is an insider. First time you see Asajj Ventress is an insider.
Yep.
First time you see any of these Star Wars characters you love for the last 10 years, they're an insider.
Mostly in the insider. It's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, you guys, we got the right people on this panel. Thank you so much for this info. I appreciate it. And then we also have this Derek Chu cover for Miles Morales Spiderman number 35 from our friends over there in Canada, Comic Kingdom, and their LE 3000, and also the Virgin is LE 1000. I'll go ahead and take this one. I like this cover because again, you think Miles Morales, you think youth, you think hip hop, and this one it exudes all of it. I like how he's got that boombox, this whole like 80s feel, the graffiti in the back, the pose. I mean, it just to me screams hip hop, and I love it. I love all the details. I like how even like the character design itself, it looks like an artist just kind of spray painted it. Because it kind of has that look vibe for me.
I want to see this beside one of those Punisher Opena variants. Do you remember that thing?
Yes.
Spray painted Punisher back on the wall behind him.
Yes.
This would be really cool companion to that. I love this cover. I think this is fantastic. I agree with you. This is fantastic. All aspects of this character or of this cover are really well done. Really well done. I don't know that I didn't order one. Did you guys? Is it even available yet? Is it available this Saturday?
It's available right now if you wanted to go pick it up. It actually came out on I want to say this weekend.
Okay, so I agree. This is a great cover. It's a beautiful cover. It's a home run all the way. But there's several covers with a boombox, right? So is all this based on this issue 35?
Yes, there's the homage to LL Cool J when he's kind of just rocking with the Kanga.
Yeah.
That's the Mayhew, right?
I don't recall. It could be a Mayhew.
I think that's Mayhew. Yeah, the KRS.
What?
Yes, KRS.
Why a boombox for this issue? There's something in the book that it leads to the cover having a boombox.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. But you never know, right? You never know. I mean, it could be just like they gave him a theme, and the artist was like, "Okay, I'll just do it."
But they made several covers with boombox. That's why I think that's interesting. And I'm like, why everybody picking a boombox for him to carry? Because they've done 10 issues and DJ and all that stuff, but now boombox. That's just interesting to me.
I love that DJ issue. That's a Raza. I love that thing.
Yeah, that's great.
This is cool. I might go snag this. And I don't usually buy Spider-Man stuff, but I really like this book. This is cool looking.
Nice.
Very
cool.
true.
All right. And then we have a young Ji-Hung Lee variant for Silk number 4. And it's the Virgin variant that you can purchase at Golden Apple, Frankie's, or actually on Ji-Hung Lee's webpage. So,
and
Mike, what do you think?
This is a reuse of the number 1 artwork, right?
Yes, I believe so. I saw, for Silk number 1, I believe we had this issue for Silk number 1. There were this particular cover for Silk number 1 that was just like a cover A or cover B. It was one of those variants you can just kind of pick up. And now I guess they're re-releasing it as a Virgin for this particular issue, which again is Silk number 4.
I don't always love Virgin treatment, especially later on. It's weird that they're doing this on a different issue, but in this particular case, it works. I think it works very nicely as a Virgin cover. It's a pretty cover, very simple lines, elegant lines, nice color. I'm very hit or miss on Lee's work. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. This piece I really like. I know there was a lot of heat surrounding it when it first dropped on the number 1. I think this will probably sell out.
Yep.
I'm surprised if it doesn't sell out pretty instantly anyway. Don't know what kind of aftermarket value it'll have just because it's already been used on something.
So you know what? I stand corrected. I'm sorry to you guys on the panel and sorry to those viewing. I just looked right now, and the reason why I'm thinking that it was number 1, it's actually number 4. So
okay,
it's they're not reusing the art. It's brand new art. It wasn't used for Silk number 1. It's actually Silk number 4. So I do apologize to you guys here for that. I just wanted to bring up to look it up really fast, so that way we could see the original art with the trade dress, so you can compare. And then I saw it said Silk number 4 on there. So again, I do apologize for that.
My bad. I should have known that too. I remember when this popped up in all of the sort of chat rooms and stuff like that, people talking about this cover, like when it first got announced. And I think that there's been a lot of I don't know if hype's the right word, but people are looking forward to this cover. I think it'll be an instant sellout. I think it'll do well. I don't know what it'll do on the aftermarket, but I think it'll definitely sell out.
It's a great cover, man. Beautiful cover. Love the background. Love the little rainbow colorish little dots in the back. I love that.
And I dig it a lot, only because like this was like Silk's first costume.
Yeah.
You
know, she really didn't have anything, so she's just like, okay, I'm just gonna whip this thing out, and just used like all the webs that she had, and voila, this is her costume. So I like this take on this. I mean, it's definitely like a lot sexier, I guess. I like how the background is the city and it's kind of blurred out. It's making our main focus the character itself. So I dig it.
Yep.
It's great, man.
Really pretty lines on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this one is another one of maybe Mike's favorites. It's a Delato.
Yep.
Devil Dog from Devil Dog Comics, LE 2500 and 800 Virgin.
Wow.
For the Ghost Rider number 1.
That's weird.
Mike, take it away.
Are they holding? They must be holding some back, because I think Marvel makes you do 3,000, 1,000. So I wonder where those other 500 and 200 are going. But
in those pockets.
Yeah, more than likely. This has the feel of a lot of other great Ghost Rider covers in the past from various artists, including Delato. But I think this is a banger. I mean, this is gorgeous. The work in the fire, the sort of the fluidity of all of it. This is probably even better than the Wolverine from this week, from the incentive section. I like the overall execution of it better. Lots of little details, cool stuff going on. But it's not different enough from other big Ghost Rider books for me to jump all over this one.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the Wolverine, I think. And he used actually a black background, and this is a lot better than the typical background covers he uses, I think. This is great. To be honest, not my favorite Ghost Rider number 1 cover. My favorite is one with he's wearing the Infinity Gauntlet. You seen that one?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that one more personally, but
yep.
It's a great cover. It's a beautiful cover. the 800, that's enticing. But yeah, it's a winner, man.
Yeah,
What else can you say about it?
this cover's dope. I love it for all the reasons you guys have mentioned already. Like I dig it. I love the flame. I love like every aspect of this. How it like it's very raw, and I get that like vibe from it, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and I'll
Yep.
definitely be picking it up. I know it came out over the weekend, so it may still be available. So I would definitely take a look again at Devil Dog Comics to see if you guys can still purchase it.
Yeah. With 800 as the LE on the version, that's probably gone. But but
Yeah,
You never know, right?
you never know.
I'd be shocked if it's still there to be.
Me,
Hey,
me too.
quick on Ghost Rider #1. I know the Stegman has the open the both sides art, right? What's it called?
Mhm.
I forgot the damn term for it, but I believe that one might have some first appearances on Ghost Rider, different variations of Ghost Riders on the cover.
Oh, that's right. That gatefold cover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That there might have been like a different Ghost Riders that are kind of like in the background.
Yeah, but these first cover appearances on those versions of Ghost Rider. So just a little quick side note for Ghost Rider #1.
For those still listening in. All right. And then we have the Ugly, which is an In-Hyuk Lee variant that you can find in KRS Comics for the Amazing Spider-Man number 88. And I'll start off, like, we are all huge fans of In-Hyuk Lee. He's done a ton of amazing covers, but for whatever reason, I feel like this cover is very generic. There's nothing really special about it that screams like, "Hey, buy me." Plus, like it's a character that we don't know too much about. I mean, it's. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. Just because I don't feel like it's doing anything. Like the character isn't doing anything, and it's just kind of very blah-ish to me.
Yeah, there's like this. I use this analogy a lot, and no one understands what I mean. But I say it's like Heathrow Airport. This thing. It looks like parts were just jammed on in weird places. Like this does not look like one cohesive piece of art to me. It looks like a bunch of little pieces of art kind of jammed together into one thing. It's not his best work. It's kind of a mess to me. Um, I don't know. I'm not sure even how to describe it, but it's just not. It just doesn't. It just doesn't do it for me. The colors are not there. There's like a layer of rendering missing. I could kind of go on for a while on it, but there's a lot of things I don't like about it.
Big Rob.
For me, it's like what drove Marvel to say, the Red Goblin, that was awesome. Let's do a female version of that.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's just do that. It's just great. In Lee's standards, this is not good, to be honest, for his standard, because that guy is usually top notch, and you can tell he's just like I'm not saying this again, half-assed it. It's just it's quick draw for simple work for him, I guess. Very simple background. Just he threw like some generic fucking Google image in the back and just pasted his art on top of it.
Yep.
It's what it looks like, to be honest. So yeah, it's not really doesn't catch you, doesn't really entice you. It's not gonna entice me to spend $60 on this shit. So
No, definitely not. Is that what the set is? $60?
it's typically usually a set $60.
Yeah, that's way too high for this.
Yeah, I'm not forking over the cash for this.
Sorry, Curious.
All right, guys. So that brings us to the end of this segment. So, Mike, thank you. What do you got going on?
The same things I've got going on every week. These are the loves of my life, the loves of my week. Cover Tunes has been going almost for 4 straight years. That drops on Wednesdays. That is very much just covers I like. No spec involved. Don't care what covers are worth. Sometimes they're worth nothing. Sometimes they're worth hundreds. It's just I like this cover. Here's why. Pay attention. And a lot of times it's covers that either people have forgotten about over time, or that just, in my opinion, don't get enough love. And then Cover Fire is the weekly sort of companion to what we just did, which is these are the covers coming out this week, Tuesday, Wednesday. But it's focused just on the regular covers, cover priced covers. So A's and B's, no incentives, no store variants. And it's just I've got a winner, I've got a runner-up or two, and I've got a couple that you may want to take a second look at every week. So there's like 5 to 7 covers in the article every week. That drops on Tuesdays. Cover Tunes drops on Wednesdays. I love doing these. They're really fun. I love the comments that come through. I like the dialogue that I get to have with readers. It's really fun. So hop on over to CBSI. There's lots of great content every week, not just mine. So make sure you're checking out, everything that we've got going to help you out on Wednesday, as well as just to feed your geek.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And I for one love your articles, Mike. I think they're fantastic. I love your cover fires. I like how they're nice, really bullet pointed items that say, "Hey, this is the cover. This is why I like it, and it's coming out. You better grab it." I mean, it's very easy to kind of read, and it's fun. I really enjoy it, and it's one of those things that I definitely take a look at before I hit my LCS.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. That's really nice to hear, man.
All right. And then what we got coming up. So upcoming shows for us, we have tomorrow, which is actually going to be Tuesday. So today we have Have you ever wondered who's the better Summers brother? Is it Cyclops or Havoc? So we're going to be focusing our attention on those two Summers brothers. Okay, guys, those two Summers brothers. And we have Something Wong versus Brandon, aka Comics Kings, for this one, and you're gonna have to tune in to see how it goes. I mean, it's gonna be a fun show for sure. And then we also have our movies and shows with Geek Driven. So Jeff is going to be posting his review for the Book of Boba Fett episode 6. So if you guys don't know, episode 5 was probably the best Mandalorian episode, or should I say
I know. I'm about to say, are you sure this episode 6, not episode 5? We're about to
watch? Oh my goodness! So Geek Driven Jeff is going to be doing his review. Probably going to be joined by JR, aka Rogueslaw, and also Anthony. Mr. Comics Are Great. So definitely tune it in. It's going to be a Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And then we also have our Mondo mail call. So don't forget about that. We have Comics with Bionics. So we're going to make sure to highlight him, see what he collects, and also see what we got for our Mondo mail call, what kind of hauls that we get. And don't forget, we have our nice verses. And hopefully Comics with Bionics can survive the verses. But I guess you'll have to tune in to find out live, as always, here on Team Nerd Herd. And that's all we have for our upcoming shows for this week. I just wanted to say thank you again, Mike, for coming on the show and helping us kind of break this thing in.
I love it. This is fun. This is really fun. I'm looking forward to this moving forward, guys. Thank you so much.
And Big Rob, thank you to spend your evening with us here as well and bringing your insight into these covers. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Eliza, for producing the show.
And Big Rob, do you want to take us out?
Sure. If you want to do it right, collect what you like.